Welcome to Hollywood. What's your dream? Everybody comes here. This is Hollywood, land of dreams. Some dreams come true, some don't, but keep on dreaming. This is Hollywood, always time to dream, so keep on dreaming.
I like that part. Joe doesn't remember the part of the pretty woman at the very end of that.
I've seen that movie, but I don't think I've seen it. I don't think we've rented it. I think I've always seen it on TV. So my thing is, the ending that I missed was the part where you said there was a homeless person, or
it was just a guy walking.
Just a guy. I don't know. Is he
you
homeless?
You were just so enamored by the kiss at the end that you just didn't pay attention to the rest.
Oh, the happily ever
right?
after. But I thought that's what the camera focused on. It was the happily ever after.
It was, and then we zoomed out.
I just don't know why they had to add that. Anyways,
I like that part. It was in my head when I thought about this episode, and so many people always come up to us and talk like, "You're living the dream. Oh my God, you're living the dream." They see us drawing, or they see us in the van, and they're always like, "We're living the dream." And one day,
man, I'm just doing it. Well, yeah, people ask. We've come across a lot of people, like Amy said. We even come across people all ages. I guess the one that hits me too is like people who are older than us that say, if only I knew then what I know now. Like, like you guys are so lucky. Like if I knew at my age what you're doing, you guys are doing it right.
Those comments impact us, don't they?
They can be very impactful because one, you start to see people that have regrets. And that is the worst thing to have. So I'm going to start off with that is regrets. Regrets cause like you not to be living your dream. Is that correct?
And we have somebody coming up.
Yes. So, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Did you stop it?
I did stop it.
I should have recorded it.
Oh, sorry.
Because that was really fascinating. Sorry, guys, we got interrupted. It was actually the best interruption because I asked the question to a gentleman that just pulled up. He just saw us doing video out here. He was curious, and I asked him like, "So, are you living the dream?" And he said, "I was living the dream."
Till his wife passed away 2 years ago.
That's just so sad.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's definitely one that I haven't heard yet.
No.
And I think that is really cool at the same time because he cherished those moments and everything together, and and he's still searching. It's not over. So it sounds like he's figuring out how to do it by himself.
Yeah, he was with his wife for 52 years.
52 years.
And now he's trying to figure out how to do things on his own because they were always together.
Right.
That was sweet.
That was really sweet. I am living the dream.
Yep. Still living the dream and still happy.
And some people may hear that and say like, well, wait a minute, you work, you have to do this, you have to do that. But like, how do you live the dream? Because I can understand that some people interpret it, living the dream as like passive income, complete freedom, doing nothing, waking up wherever you want to go.
And we've been around those people that have achieved that. They've achieved, multi-million-dollar status. Like they are working, they get to travel wherever they want. They really enjoy the time with their families. That is a dream for some people. And we've been around that, and we saw things we liked and things we didn't like.
Right.
That would work for us or didn't work for us, right?
Right. Because I wouldn't want to stop working. I wouldn't want to stop just doing just absolutely nothing.
Right. We're too creative. I don't think we'd ever stop.
No. And I mean, even when I hold my, as I get older, I will still be working. I'll be working to the choices that I can, I'll have, that I can choose. It's not like where I'm obligated to work at some place because I don't have any choice, because I didn't leave myself open for those opportunities. But it's like, I honestly can't be in an office all day. Sometimes I like to be outside, and then sometimes outside's too much. Like I like to be inside. So I'm just everywhere.
And that's what we've learned. Like we had dreams and goals at one point, like right when we first got married. My goal was just to be normal, so I didn't have chronic pains and things like that. And I did achieve that at one point, but then it got boring to me. And that's okay for other people, but for me, we're adventurous. I mean, obviously we live in a van and stuff. So the dream has evolved over time as we've had life experiences with many surgeries and different things like that. It changed our perspective of what was most valuable to us. And I think that's one of the definitions, and I have my definitions here.
Hey, when we get to you're going to get to the
But
questions too, right?
yeah, but the definition of what living the dream has evolved for us, right?
Currently, right now, I'm gonna throw this one out here, this phrase, but I'm surrendering to things.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to position myself to have time to myself that doesn't put anybody in harm's way, where we have a roof over our head and we're able to eat, I'm at the point of surrendering to see what happens. And
we used to try to control it, right?
Because I think, yeah, you're right. We've got these, we have these goals. We put them on our dream boards or our charts, and
which
we
did
do
work.
reach for them. But also, they don't always turn out the way you expect them to happen. So I think there was too much expectations of how things are supposed to go, and when they don't go the way you want them to,
depression,
you totally get disappointed.
Disappointment,
absolutely,
a lot of negative emotions. Which feeling all of the emotions is part of living. Like you don't know how good you have it when you don't know how bad you could have it. So feeling all of that is important.
Yeah. And it's just like figuring out, like, by clearing your mind and being simple living and just letting go of that, things start to show up in your life that happen in ways that if you just surrender to it, it's cool. Like, there's a lot of
Did you read my notes? Because
No.
you're leading right into it.
Well, see, I didn't read your notes, but I also think there's a rhythm, just
Of
like how
course.
nature has a rhythm and everything follows in rhythm. I forget what that word. It's like bio something.
Biorhythm.
Biorhythm, is it? It's basically the macrocosm of how nature does things, our body does things, like pumping blood through our system. It's those cycles, like the
rhythms of nature.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you're observant and aware of it, it seems like it helps you follow where you want to go and where your goals are.
Yep.
So
okay, that's one of my dreams, is impacting people and just the spontaneity of who stops by and who,
yeah.
and that's, I think, that excitement that we have and that confidence and that freedom to live like this is what people say this for, is like, oh my God, you're living the dream. And I think they see that calmness, confidence, relaxation, like freedom to do what we want to do when we want to. In general, obviously, we're here at your dad's because we can't go anywhere because I got my doctor's appointments.
But I don't feel limited.
But no, because we can still do little trips and things like that.
I've turned it into freedom.
Because that's my first thing, is learning, adapting, and finding balance through it all.
So we're gonna go over her notes
My
because
list.
she says, or her list, because apparently I am synchronized with this, and I tell you, like, I did not read these notes, so this is always fascinating, but it's not surprising to me.
So the balance through it all is this is what living the dream to me is at this point, because it's that finding balance, which is our logo is balance. I mean, all of that. That's I think what our dream is like what we were just saying. So my first one, and I gave examples here. My first one is pain-free from illness.
In case everybody needs to see it.
To
okay? Everybody
full
see
health.
It? Okay.
So me living pain-free from illness and full of health and wellness, both physically and mentally. Even though I'm going through the endometriosis stuff right now and dealing with it, I still manage to find happiness. Obviously, you make me laugh. And now I have a visual memory of something I can't get out of my head. So anytime I need it, I can pull that up and it'll make me laugh. But
is that the trio orchestra?
Yes.
You'd have to ask her privately. But I don't think she would even divulge and say it.
There's things that we keep private because I want to cherish that. I'm not sharing that. No. Okay, so another living the dream thing is we've owned homes and we also live in the van now. So we've experienced owning a home, which is some people's dreams.
Yes.
And some people's dreams to live in the van.
Yes.
Both have been awesome.
Yes.
And I am glad that we've experienced both.
We've been with millionaires. We partied on a $50 million yacht.
Mhm.
We ate a dinner that was 2 for 500, like a ticket was like
$1,000 total for the
$5,000
dinner.
total for a dinner.
Was that worth it?
No, actually, it wasn't.
It was fun. It was a neat experience, but
I find joy going to family restaurants instead of that whole 6-plate course meal kind of like. I don't know.
I did
It's
like getting dressed up. That was fun.
Yeah, it's all right.
But we could do that at another
I
restaurant.
didn't wear real Gucci clothes. I wore clothes that look like Gucci.
So I've been in the fashion industry. I've been working in companies that have like I know how they're made. They're made the same way as the other stuff. They're made with better quality clothes. I'm deviating now. I'm doing what you would normally do. I'm deviating.
I'm proud of you. Well, because you told me this. You said that like it's the same factory. It's the same floor. Like one floor makes
Armani is
the
on one
higher
floor
end, and then the
QVC
floor
is on the
below
next
it,
floor.
yeah, makes the lower or the middle end. It's
Again,
all come from the same factory.
Construction, quality of fabrics. There's differences that are different for price points, but
I will I'm going to
you know
digress.
what? Okay, so
I want to digress.
No, me first.
All right.
So
fine.
I understand the value of clothes, like the higher end clothing. I get that, the designs and stuff like that. But because we live this life, it doesn't matter to me anymore. Like I just want to be comfortable in my body and in my clothes and stuff. I love dressing up still. I love jewelry. I like all that stuff. Do it occasionally, but I don't have to anymore because I found what's most comfortable for me. Okay, your turn.
Oh, I was just basically going to make a point what I learned, and I had to kind of help somebody understand this because like they blame factories overseas in the quality of the clothes. And they said it's not the factories and the quality, it's the people who give them the instructions on how to make stuff. So if it's cheap and it has low quality, it's because over here in our country, we gave the information over to make it cheap.
Yep.
If we wanted to give it better quality, then it's so it comes down to like over here, not over there.
Nope. People want cheap clothes. You're
But
gonna get cheap
people want
clothes.
cheap clothes.
And I know that for a fact because that's what my job was.
Anyways,
back to my list.
Yes, back to your list.
I'm gonna anyways, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what is living the dream?
We've tried everything. Corporate jobs. We've owned businesses. We've been self-employed. We have gone from bankruptcy to making $21,000 in one day, all in the same year. So that's balance because we've experienced it all.
I think it's really.
I don't know if that's really a dream.
No,
but...
it's an awesome opportunity because what you're saying is like we keep swinging the bat and striking. We're hitting everything because like you only have a limited amount of time here on this earth, and so like if you just do one thing and you just do it over and over and over, I mean I don't see that. Maybe that could be for somebody who is an introvert or whatever, is just comfortable with themselves and that's what they are. But I feel like for me, that's not myself living the dream because I didn't try everything and I have to try everything. So
I think that's our personalities and our nature.
It's so cool to see how you can just like, you know, when we were just like in high school or whatever, and we joked about that, we made $5.25 an hour or something.
Yeah, we just said that.
You know, and then and then here we are, like, you know, 3 years ago or whatever, before the pandemic knocked out our business. That was our most highest point when we made $20,000 in a day. And so, I mean, it's pretty cool to see that we have the capability of doing it, or you can do it. Whoever wants to be out there to try things, and you hit those goals, and you're like,
it wasn't,
cool.
And that wasn't a random thing. I mean, we worked 5 years in that business.
5 years in the making for
built
that.
Relationships. I mean, that's
not knowing that's what it was going to turn out
fast,
to.
Right?
No, and then that's the thing. There's no sprint to this. It's a marathon, what you do in life. But if you keep swinging at so many different things and you're actively doing it, something is about to like hit. You're going to hit that ball somewhere. You know, and so go ahead.
So one of the balance things, which is what I kind of was going with this list, is my dream is living in balance, is that I really enjoy being in cities and around the activity and around people and, you know, the events that we were used to do and stuff. But then going off in the middle, like the redwoods, complete silence, and you feel how tiny you are compared to these huge trees and the massive of the globe and the universe and all this other stuff. I love that we can move our home to all of these places.
Yes.
and experience all of that stuff. And, you know, as we're feeling, like sometimes we feel lonely, we go to the cities and be around people. And sometimes we're like, oh, too many people. And we go off and that's a dream to me. It's like being able to do that. That's cool. Pretty much that section is just ended with that we know what we want.
Oh, cool.
We've experienced a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
We've still got more things to experience.
So to round that back in and summarize, bring it back, is like, this is me living the dream, is trying everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I said, keep swinging that bat. Like having more opportunities to try things in life and not let inner things interfere with you that take you away from your, you know, what if I you know, what if I wanted to play this sport, or what if I wanted to do karate, or what if I wanted to become an animator, what if I just want to be a business mongol, you know? It's like all these different things. What if I want to own a business?
What if I want to have kids and have a family and have that cute little suburban house? And that's totally fine. Just knowing what you want and having
I think, and that's what to me, that's what interprets for us, or to me, is like living the dream. And I call that the new rich.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's also some words that they pass around, was like, you know, that is the new rich, not the planes, not the cars. I mean, there is something to show that if you do have that, you have more than that. You have the gas to pay for that, to maintain it. And you also have the employees, which mean congratulations to you for that success of reaching those higher levels that you want to climb. Yeah.
So, what happens if I achieve my dream and I don't like it?
Okay. Then
you
it's okay.
Create this dream and you decide, you're like, oh, I got there and you don't like it.
I want to applaud the effort and the work of getting to that dream, because and Tom Billio would say this, because a lot of people are at a standstill and don't know what to do, so they don't do anything at all. They don't move. They don't do anything. And that's the worst thing you can possibly do, because there's no growth from it. Because what you've done to achieve something that you do not like, you have the skill and the ability to put that towards what you do want to do. You know, you do.
You said do. Are we going to do that every time,
yes.
every episode?
Yes, we do. We do.
We never grow up.
But
that's one of my dreams.
But that is like how I feel. So it's not a waste of time. If you do not like it, you'll have to make those changes. And sometimes that can be hard, because you can be at places with peers and friends around you that because
people judge you, and people
and you are around, you surround yourself by what you become. So when you start to change lanes, a lot of times the environment around you does not want to change that lane with you, and that's okay. It's just like your vision and your dream's different, and it takes a lot of courage. Joseph Campbell's book, The Road Less Traveled, is an example. No, The Call of the Hero. That's the you know, that is also one, but it takes a lot of courage to take that ship and then put it in reverse. There's a lot, because you build from it. But just know this, in a situation like that, because we don't know what everybody's situation, where they are right now. But I do feel that all that work and that effort was never wasted. And
you learn, and you take those skills and you build. And it's hard though. Some people will make fun of you, like, oh, I thought you were doing this, or they'll be like, weren't you doing this last year and now you're doing this? And it's really hard, because people judge you, ridicule you, things like that. But it's worth it to me, like to just keep going, trying and using those skills to build to the next thing. Right.
Don't let anything kind of stop you or put you in your way. And you know, and it doesn't have to be like a sprint. Like I said, this is a marathon. So start to make some of those changes that will start to send you in the direction that you want to go. But what if, like, you don't know what your, you know, dream was? Like, you thought you knew when you got there, but you don't know.
Wait,
but you don't know what you want to do next. Is what I'm saying. You thought
so
you achieved it.
And like, now what, right?
We've come across people that are extremely wealthy and happy, but money isn't everything. They thought that money was the thing that they needed to get the financial freedom and the independence to do whatever they want. But then they were miserable because they haven't actually achieved what they wanted.
Or it changed, it evolved.
So to do something like
we
that,
actually got complimented by one of our millionaire friends that said, like, looked at the van and was like, you're doing the right thing. Like, we don't have electric bills, we don't have this and that, and we have our relationship.
right.
And
he's the one who
doesn't
taught us how to make passive income or
Right.
do things where we were able to pay our home off 2 years earlier than the actual
but I could see
plan.
that he was yearning for that relationship, and so for him to see that in us, it touched me. It touched my heart.
So I was just curious what you would say to that. Like, I don't know, it's probably not in there, but like, okay, well, if this whoever is like, found out that they don't
they don't like their dream after all.
But what if they didn't know what their dream was at that point?
That was one of the other questions.
All right.
How do you figure that? How do you figure dream?
How do you figure out that dream?
How do you figure out what your dream is?
Yeah, I call that the walkabout, the self-awareness.
I think that goes back to the trying everything.
That is that is a form of meditation to me, because I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing because I don't like it anymore, and I'm going to try something that's something that I would never quite expect myself to do. And it doesn't always mean that that's what I'm going to be doing. It's just kind of a contrast type thing. And I'll give you an example. I hated UPS. I worked there for 8 years.
But you did what you had to do.
I did what I had to do. And the
me.
money was so good. That's where I felt like I was living the dream. We were making 6 figures. Like,
and we were spending it all.
And we were spending it
more.
all. It never made me happy. It just, like, the anxiety of going to work, waking up, and I still have PTSD to this day.
12 years later.
I've got dreams where Amy sees me, like, squirming in my dreams.
You scratch yourself up.
I know. But, so what did I do? I became a bartender. I mean,
because you didn't know what the next part was.
I didn't know what the next part was, but what I looked at is something that can just kind of hit me like this and give me some kind of different thing. And it's like, okay, 2-week mixology course. I like to talk to people. I'm more extrovert on that. So even though I am an introvert, believe it or not, but because I worked at UPS and I was on my route and I built rapport with people, I talked to a lot of people. And so I wanted to keep doing that. So I became a bartender. And then from the bartender, I invented a yo-yo, and then I owned a yo-yo company.
And your bartending skills came in handy for our coffee business.
And then the business aspect came behind it. So it's because I did something that's completely avant-garde. Like, you
never worried about what people were thinking.
No, and I really don't worry about where the income comes from, because, well, I downsized before I did that. It's not like I just quit and I'm not going to do anything. But I got smart about it and said, okay, if this is what's supporting the income for the family, for the, just to keep the light on, what can I do to minimize my habits of things? And the biggest one was, we had 2 cars. It wasn't necessary to have those 2 cars. So we got 1 car we sold, and I rode bikes. I rode my bike to work, which is funny, being a driver, pedaling with this little tiny bike, to work. But also,
people made fun of you for that,
choices
by the way.
of, eating out, 3 times meal at Wawa, like, things like that. Like, Wawa was my meal plan.
You started changing your behaviors.
Wawa is like a convenience store.
You started changing your behaviors because you knew that you didn't like where you were.
Right. And that takes sacrifice. So if you're able to sacrifice that because, like, your dream is not going where you want to go,
and
you're already working.
Some people think that, living in the van is the dream. And that took a while to downsize and sacrifice and get to that point. But our van wasn't the original idea to live in it. It was actually going to be part of our coffee business. So as things evolved and adapted, and again, just rolling with it, we had to change. So,
well, because, like, and as I said, like, you have, like, the chart, the dream board visions, and it's like, we're going to do this and this and this. I'm like, no. You're just going to have a van and you're going to live in it, but it's interesting. But yeah, that's my advice, I would say.
So to kind of wrap this up, people see us living in a van, traveling, and also beautiful places and all this great stuff.
Like the beautiful bulldozer in front of us?
Yes.
It's this way. You can't see it. I'll turn the camera
That's what
around
social
here.
media and all these other things, like, we try to be real, but those things do exist. But then there's these things that exist that we're looking at a bulldozer right now.
We're not in this cool, like,
The beautiful,
outdoorsy environment that Vanlifers see.
like the thumbnail,
We're actually at a golf course. That's the
in an
greenery we
RV
got.
storage unit.
Which, hey, maybe one day I'll just pick up golf. I don't know.
But it's all still part of living our dream because we are together. We get to see
Yes.
family more. We get to be the places that we want to be when we want to be them.
I'm finding that riches in family right now.
Right.
Because I don't know how long I have with you know, with my father, my mother,
Our parents.
our
Yep.
parents. I mean, it is life. It happens, and I get to see them more every day, and there's something that grows there as well as when, like, you know, all of us age. But, you know, I find that this is where my riches are right now, to be around that in those relationships and family.
Mhm.
Because in a perspective of somebody that just visits people for the holidays, let's say my father has, like, you know, about 10 good years before he starts to fall apart, or, you know, and so if you just go there for the holidays, you're only visiting and seeing him 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not enough.
Right.
You know? So it's like, that's you need so this is where I feel like we're living the dream right now, even though your health is, you know,
not part of the dream.
not part of it, but
At all.
we can just like make better situations out of it.
Mhm.
And
Just roll with it.
Roll with it right there.
So I'm going to end with a quote from Miss Lisa.
Oh, okay. Before you do,
I want to wrap it up with this.
I said my answer to that one, but I'm just curious because, like, you know, you are yourself. You are an individual. You're not
really,
you know, even though we're sewn to the hip. What was your answer to
how
that
does
one?
somebody figure out their dream?
Yes.
I kind of chimed in a little bit at the beginning. That just keep trying things. Like, don't be afraid that if you went after your dream and you didn't get to the point that you did get to the point you wanted, be okay with pivoting and changing, and it's part of the process of learning. There's definitely goals that we haven't hit that still helped us reach other things that we didn't know we wanted to reach. But I'm deviating because the question was, how does somebody figure out their dream?
It's okay if you don't have an answer. I'm just curious.
Having the courage to try.
Okay.
There we go. Having the courage to try, not being afraid of it. I had fear and anxiety a lot back then.
That's a good one. Fear will stop you.
Oh yeah, and I still challenge this every once in a while, but
it's false expectations that appear real. That's what fear stands for.
And from experience, definitely just pushing through the fear. And there have been times where I thought that I was pushing through the fear to get to a goal, and I would have severe anxiety attacks. I would do like total breakdown. And then I realized that my body was telling me that that was not the goal that I was supposed to be going after.
Mm-hmm.
I was deviating from my calling, my purpose type of thing.
Yeah.
So, and I knew what it was. Finishing our book, being peaceful and living life happy with you. That's my focus. And I was trying things because I was trying to achieve goals that other people made look really good. And then I was like, wait, this isn't really what I want. But it took a while to figure it out. And I did it anyways. I tried. I pushed myself. I learned new skills. And now they're useful here.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So having the courage to go after it and do it. And even if it's just one little thing, just one little baby step at a time. And then celebrating getting past those little baby steps.
All right.
It's a process.
So you're going to wrap it up?
Yep. Miss Lisa from Drexel and Honeybees. I just finished reading her book about their donation-only restaurant.
Yes.
In Bruton, Alabama. And these quotes just really stuck out to me, that the dream is made better because of the process.
Very profound.
Yes.
Yes.
And
couldn't agree more.
And I'm saying this as she's saying this also, is I hope you are encouraged to pursue your own dreams despite the sacrifice and the long process with perseverance and faith. Don't let your dream die on the vision board,
Wow.
but be open to the different ways it pivots and develops.
Wow.
Isn't that perfect?
Yeah, no, I hear that.
We didn't even know we were going to interview her at the time, and that was just so profound. I'm glad we got what we could.
Yeah, that's really that hit home.
That's living the dream, meeting people like her.
And that whole thing about the
And how that
process,
impacts.
because
Yep.
as we drive through places we go, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yep.
It's everything that gets you there, you know?
Yep.
So, and everybody has an amazing story because of it.
And
they're able to share what they learn
and the dream is made better because of it.
and pass forward, pass it on.
Yep. And just roll with it.
And just
It's
roll with it.
Part of the process.
We out.
Oh.
Whoa!
Thank you so much for joining us on our adventures. If you're curious about our van, check out this video for our full van tour and some more silliness. Please also like and subscribe to continue rolling with us every week.